Kansas Jayhawks. She's going to have a big night. They rely so heavily on her.
Always jealous of her. She has the green light. Every player's dream. Shoot it whenever you are open. So it's Kansas and Texas Tech. Take a look at the starting lineups for each squad. In addition, Vivian Gray, another outstanding scorer. Lexi Gordon for Texas Tech, the 1-2 punch. Gordon averaging 17.6 points per game. Those are the two to watch, but a couple of youngsters upcoming as well, and in Murray, Jackson as well, really factoring into their scoring in recent games. Kansas's starting five here tonight. In addition to 𝗀𝗄𝗃𝗃, Franklin at the point guard spot. 𝘀𝗁𝗻𝗃𝗃 has been a nice story we'll get into as well. The local product getting some recent playing time and taking advantage of it. Anaya Thomas, the miss from three. Put back from Stevens is missed, but gets it back. An extra possession for Kansas on the opening trip. Texas Tech in the zone. We'll probably see both teams play some zone tonight.
Neither team super deep in roster size, so getting a travel from 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃. Good extra possession, as you mentioned, but both teams impacted by just sheer numbers, and so because of that, and Coach Brandon's mentioned that his team might play a little bit of zone as well, not traditionally known for a zone, but early going, working in a man-to-man.
Stevens getting Gray on the get-go. Turnaround shot is missed. Put back in the lane is mishandled by Faye, but it's kicked back outside, and launching for three is Murray, the San Diego State transfer, who now has gone 9 straight games with a three, as she gets the opening points for Texas Tech.
And Murray, along with Jackson, have been so vital in Texas Tech's success.
Post up inside to 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃 against a double team, came up a little bit short. 𝘀𝗁𝗻𝗃𝗃𝗃 out of Lawrence had not been playing early on in the season, stuck in a rotation behind a number of bigs, but now the Jayhawks dealing with not only some COVID issues, but some opt-outs, and now she's a primary option down low and is really taking advantage. 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃 coming off a career-high 10 points and 8 boards in the Jayhawks game at TCU.
And playing significant minutes, and it's something that Coach Brandon said they celebrated in the locker room, just how well she's played.
𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃 for three, it's off the iron, no good. Texas Tech back the other way. Here's Gray going baseline. Strong to the hole and gets the putback bucket. Vivian Gray with the early bucket on the inside. Use her a little bit differently than she was at Oklahoma State, seeing her a little bit more down in the kind of the 4 spot.
Right, on the little bit more activity in the low block, and good, strong, powerful move and response from Holly 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃. Found herself to the bucket.
Nice job by 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃 clearing out the lane as 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 drives for the first Kansas bucket. Kansas, as you mentioned, just 7 practices. It's been a tough stretch of road games. Nice bank shot on the run by Murray. He's got 2 early buckets. But they've dealt with 4 conference postponements. Then we're back to play back-to-back road games at Texas and at TCU, and then back home here tonight. But they haven't had a lot of practice time on the floor. 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 on the inside with the make. Then also their lack of interior play right now has forced the Jayhawks to do a little kind of coaching on the fly and learning some new things on the fly, as they're playing primarily now a 4-guard lineup, although Stevens back in the mix gives them a little more height here tonight. 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 on the drive, flipped it up looking for the foul, didn't get it.
A tough angle as they had a 2-on-1 break, but just couldn't fill the lanes really. Kind of took a late angle to the left away from the bucket, did 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃.
So Kansas with 10 available players tonight, Jill, and that's a welcome sight because they've been playing with limited numbers as of late as well. And so 10 available tonight feels like a entirely new team.
Indeed, but still some limited minutes I think they're going to see from Ioana Chatsayanti, who had been the starting big, the freshman who's been sensational for Kansas. Big reason why they're so strong in the rebounding numbers, second in the Big 12 play. She's looking at the to check into the ball game, but I think they're going to limit her availability each quarter.
Played or missed the last 2 games, I should say, for Kansas. Here's a straight on 3, shot clock down to 2, and Franklin calmly with the 3-pointer from the top of the arc.
had her feet set, knocked down a shot, and that was the thing on the road in that overtime loss at TCU. Coach Brandon just said, you know, we just couldn't make some shots. I mean, the key tonight, they've got to knock down some shots.
Franklin's picked up her scoring as of late. 3 straight double-figure performances for the Jayhawk point guard. After a little bit slower start to her season, was all Big 12 freshman team a year ago. Subs in for the Jayhawks. We'll get to those in a moment. And 𝘀𝗲𝗄𝗆 introduces herself to the game tonight. The senior transfer out of Quebec knocks down the 3.
And a welcome sight for a sharpshooter like 𝘀𝗲𝗄𝗆 to see a zone.
And Kansas with 6 straight points now to take the lead.
Well, you find that gap in the zone. Quick little pass, feet set, quick release.
Vivian Gray with the foul, her first. Also into the Kansas lineup, as you mentioned, 𝗀𝗀𝗱𝗆, the freshman out of Athens, Greece, who's missed the last 2 games down on the interior. And also Chandler Prater out of nearby Kansas City, Missouri, had 14 in the Texas game off the bench for the Jayhawks, in to the lineup as well, and she's guarding Gray at the moment. Alexis Tucker just checked into the Texas Tech lineup, wearing number 35. Prater doing some work down low on Gray. Here goes Tucker to work. The shot is blocked. Putback is there as Gray scooped up the loose ball and draws the foul. Nice job attacking the offensive glass for Vivian Gray. Tight game early. Kansas leads it by a point, 10-9 at our first timeout. Midway through the first, back with more. Big 12 now on ESPN+.
Yeah, but this is a lot of food right here for $2.49.
You go to all these restaurants, $10, please.
$12.50.
$9, please. $12, please. All these crazy places. It's a no-brainer.
School is working out for you.
Sonic Chicken Slinger.
It's very important here at 𝘀𝗄𝗄 that we keep up with technology.
Because technology is where the world of banking is going.
It's about convenience, and the member nowadays wants convenience and security.
We value technology because we want all of our members to feel safe and like their information is protected.
Anything you can do at one of our locations, you can do online or on our mobile app. But whenever you need a live person, we're here for you.
We not only have
Busting business banter. Your top salesman is working from home while working to close a deal. But his Uncle Larry decided to stop by 2 weeks ago. This looks like a job for Smile Power. Good thing your employees have dental insurance backed nationally by over 65 years of motor defending experience. So their healthy deal closers are always ready to close. Unleash your Smile Power with Delta Dental.
If I could reimagine health, what would I see? I'd see comfort, a place where I feel right at home. I'd see convenience, one state-of-the-art campus with experts for primary care, women's health, orthopedics and therapy, diagnostic imaging, and even surgery. I'd see a destination for health that brings more of what I love in life, inside and out. So, how would you reimagine health? Find it right here at the new LMH Health West Campus.
This is the way chicken was meant to be right here. Fried and crispy.
Y'all never cooked us grilled chicken.
Nah, I didn't know what grilled chicken was. I probably got 30 years old. Sonic Chicken Slinger.
Some good chicken.
Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus brings you more than 400 exclusive live events. Select conference championship events, coaches' press conferences, and original content. Sign up for Big 12 Now on ESPNplus.com/Big 12 Now.
Kansas has scored the last 6 points. They lead it 10-9 here, midpoint of the opening quarter. It's good to see the Jayhawks on the home floor today. As we mentioned, their last home game was December the 29th. And there's Coach Brandon Schneider, who's been just trying to find time to teach. It's been a lot of remote learning, I guess, as the youngsters have endured, right, all over the place, Jill. But for Kansas, it's just not able to get on the practice floor, have had some quarantine situations. And we were talking to him yesterday, and he said really for every their mantra right now is they're coaching execution, coaching confidence, and trying to coach fresh legs.
Fresh legs, yeah.
Other than that, everything else is a bonus.
But all delicately doing it while keeping them conditioned, right? I mean, that's another factor that you put into play is 7 practices in a month. It's a conditioning aspect comes in, and then limits in numbers. So many variables having to deal with, but you got to look at it from an opportunistic standpoint, right? They're here and they're playing basketball tonight, and that's what you do know.
𝘀𝗲𝗄𝗽 with the foul away from the basketball. On the post, picks up her first. And yeah, he's mentioned that they've been deconditioned, and now one needs to get him back in shape. And he said the tough part is also not practicing. You got to get in shape while playing games. This is, in addition to playing a game, this is getting in shape while you're running.
And that's how they're kind of looking at it, right? Is the games are their conditioning right now.
Prater the scoop shot. 𝘀𝗲𝗄𝗽 picks up her second. A quick foul on the rebound, and we'll have to check out. So good to have her back after a couple game absence for Kansas, but up and over the back of Gray and picks up 2 quick fouls.
Due to limited playing availability, just coming off of COVID protocol, and then also just foul trouble. I don't think we might not see her the rest of the first quarter.
In for Texas Tech, Bryn 𝗀𝗱𝗃, another Oklahoma State transfer, and oh, by the way, the daughter of first-year head coach at Texas Tech, Krista 𝗀𝗀𝗃, as she used her magic in recruiting to convince her daughter to come play for her in Lubbock. Shot is missed by 𝗀𝗃𝗃. Offensive rebound by 𝗀𝗃𝗃 to keep the possession alive. 𝗀𝗃𝗃 going to the baseline. Kicks to Braceau for 3 in the corner. Julie Braceau's knocked down a couple of early threes.
I always enjoy about 2.5 hours or so before the game. Julie Braceau, first one out, getting all those extra shots up, and it's a sight to see. I mean, a pure shot coming out, just perfecting and owning that craft. I mean, what a good asset she has been, and an add for this Kansas Jayhawk team and just her offense.
Transfer, 2 years at Maine, 1 year at Utah, and now playing her final season with the Jayhawks. Bounce pass from Franklin is a little too hot and out of bounds.
Just some good patience on this offensive set of running the baseline, double down, the defense comes over to help, and then it leaves just moving in space, finding that opening and knocking down the shot. The most important aspect of that, as Coach Brandon said, we found some open shots. Now we just got to knock him down.
Long 3 from 𝗀𝗃𝗃's off the mark. 𝗀𝗃𝗃 with the rebound. Stevens and Thomas back into the Kansas lineup. Braceau fakes the 3 this time. A little runner, and that one wide of the mark. Like the intent there, but it's off the window. Vivian Gray, not only scoring for Texas Tech, she's got career highs in her career at better than 20 points. Also, career high in rebounding this season as well, going for Gray. She's been over 8 boards per game. 3-on-1 back the other way now for Kansas. Oh, Thomas couldn't hang on to the bounce pass, and they'll reset in the half court. Inside to 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃, but she's going to be whistled for the foul before the entry pass. So push off inside on the Kansas big. Mia Vukcic into the Kansas lineup for the first time, freshman out of Croatia. And she'll replace Zakiya Franklin.
We talked about Kansas perhaps moving to a little bit of a zone defense. I don't know if they'll do it with Vukcic. Interesting. Didn't play a lot of zone defense, you know, in her home country. So new added aspect that she's in. First shot, as Lexi Gordon has been very quiet. First points for Gordon, as we all know, Gray and Gordon has been that dynamic duo for Texas Tech all season long in that scoring aspect.
Braceau on the dribble, stops and pops in the lane and gets a soft touch. Julie Braceau off to a nice start with 8 points on 3 of 4 shooting. Tucker gets the friendly roll from the baseline, and a quick answer for Texas Tech. Back and forth here in this opening quarter, as we're down to a minute. Vukcic on the bounce. Stevens. Good help defense that time from Texas Tech. Shot clock single digits. Vukcic with the pull-up shot, missed it. 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃 with the stick back. 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃 As we mentioned, coming off a 10.8 rebound performance against TCU, 4 points already, 5 rebounds in the opening quarter. Pretty looking three from Lexi Gordon. She leads the Big 12 in threes taken, and she's shooting at a 33% clip from beyond the arc, and that one in rhythm, tie the game at 17.
Just as I mentioned, she had been quiet, knocking down back-to-back long-range shots.
A little bit quieter in here. She might have heard you. And
perhaps.
she started firing them up. A couple of subs in for Texas Tech. Kyla Wade-Warren in for the first time, 6'2" freshman forward. And also back in is Maka Jackson at a guard position for Texas Tech at the point. Thomas on the inbounds, 10 seconds to go, turns it over.
Texas Tech had read that play very well, knew exactly Kansas wanted to drive on the baseline.
Buzzer beater for Gordon's off the rim. And an opening quarter, good one so far here in Lawrence. After one, it's Kansas 17, Texas Tech 17. We'll be back with the second quarter in a moment from Allen Fieldhouse. It's Big 12 now on ESPN+. Rebounding about even. Kansas with one more made three. And good starts for Lexi Gordon and really 𝗀𝗻𝗄𝗃 on the inside for Kansas, who was kind of a story after the TCU game, picking up with 5 first quarter rebounds to go along with 4 points.
Yeah, that certainly stands out to me. 8 points in the paint for Kansas, and a few of those buckets coming off the activity of 𝗀𝗃, just working on the weak side, gobbling up some rebounds and putting them back strong.
Rousseau misses the three, top of the circle. Rebound fought for, and a whistle and a foul is going to be on 𝗀𝗃𝗃 of Kansas. First on 𝗀𝗃𝗃, leading scorer for the Jayhawks at 17.1 a ball game. 𝗀𝗃𝗃 thus far off to a 1 for 5 shooting start. Gray off the floor right now for Texas Tech. On the inside, nice little move by Wade-Warren on the interior, and then gets the follow. So good interior play for Texas Tech, back in front by 2.
Continuing to stay in this 2-3 zone. We've seen Kansas in the first quarter just work the ball around the perimeter, though, set a good screen, get some good open looks in the gap, and that was a beautiful pass. Just sealing off the defender on the low block.
𝗀𝗃𝗃 to Stevens for the finish. A nice diagonal pass against the zone, and we're tied at 19. And travel out front on Jackson. Hesitated before putting the ball on the floor.
And that happened because Tina Stevens was denying that ball. Good scouting report defense there, but going back is just a ball movement, a diagonal pass. And sealing off the defender. The timing was perfect.
Vivian Gray back in for Texas Tech, in for the first time for Kansas. Brooklyn Mitchell, the junior out of New Orleans. She'd been out a couple of games as well, so good to have her back in the mix. Missed inside of 𝗀𝗃𝗃, another rebound. Double team, trying to clear out some space. And it's going to be 3 seconds in the lane on 𝗀𝗃𝗃. Brandon Schneider looking for an explanation on that call. He thought his big moved the ball out in time, but stuck in the lane against the double team. Gray off the handoff, stops and pops off the iron. 𝗀𝗃𝗃 up high for the rebound for Kansas. And tries to go coast to coast off the window, no good, but is fouled and will head to the free throw line. Nice drive for 𝗀𝗃𝗃.
Well, ripped the rebound. It started from the rebound on the low block and then just picks up the pace a little bit to another gear, working side across the lane. You can see her looks up ahead, nobody running in that lane, so she goes ahead and takes it herself through that lane. Good effort from the sophomore.
Foul on Bryn Gerlich, her first. 𝗀𝗃𝗃 at the line for 2. 𝗀𝗃𝗃, excellent free throw shooter.
It's a way of describing it.
I'll wait till she makes the second one and say she's yet to miss a free throw in the season. 21 for 21.
Incredible.
At the line for 𝗀𝗃𝗃. If there's any knock, it's that she needs to get there more, right?
True.
Gray off the weave. Strong, but cut off nicely on the baseline by Stevens. Loose ball foul. It's going to be whistled on Brooklyn Mitchell of Kansas.
The loose balls that we've had so far, as Texas Tech is able to capture them. Seems like every loose ball so far, and this just getting there a little bit late, but a better angle, I think, that Jackson had at the ball.
Chandler Prater back in for Kansas. She's defending Gray at the moment. 𝗀𝗲𝗱𝘆 inside. Wade Warren on the finish on the blocks. So a couple of inside finishes for the freshman on the interior.
A couple gambles defensively for Kansas. They overplayed just a little bit, and good patience from Texas Tech on that offensive set.
Bounce pass on the interior, knocked away. That's Wade Warren again, who had the bucket at the other end, gets the knock away for Texas Tech. In the corner, Jackson left all alone. Too strong in the three. 𝗀𝗏𝗃𝗍 up high for the rebound. Now looking to run, bumped near midcourt by Jackson. Just whistled for the foul. First on Jackson. Najee Murray back into the Texas Tech lineup, replacing Jackson. As Kansas will inbound, game tied at 21.
We're seeing the point guard combination of Mitchell and Franklin.
So a loose ball situation there. Gray looked like she was going to have the steal, went through her hands, and Tina Stevens scoops it up and then is fouled.
Similar play on the side of Texas Tech earlier, where it's like, oh, look what I found here, and up for a bucket. Kansas now gets an opportunity of just not being able to control and handle the ball, and another scoring opportunity as Tina Stevens goes to the line.
Wade Warren with the foul for Texas Tech. And Stevens hits the first, putting Kansas back in front. And calmly hits 2 free throws. Stevens will check out. 𝗀𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗃 back in, as Stevens knocks home a pair and puts Kansas up by 2. This situation where you have now Kansas playing 4-guard lineup with 𝗀𝗏𝗃𝗍 in the middle. Same with Stevens a moment ago. They played the 2 of them together briefly, but Kansas having to kind of adjust with the lack of bigs, playing more 4-guard, and it's been a little bit of an adjustment for them to get used to at this point in time. 𝗀𝗏𝗃𝗍 with rebound inside again. She's continuing to snag boards. Now it's 7 rebounds. Up ahead, got a little too fast that time as Prater couldn't hang on. And this also forces Chandler Prater, who's primarily an off guard, kind of playing that kind of extra 4 position right now. And she's having to essentially learn a new position in this Kansas offense. And again, they're kind of learning it without being on the court as much. Gray on the inside. Tough, strong drive after the interior pass. Vivian Gray with a nice finish.
I think Texas Tech is going to look to try to get Gray a little bit more of those opportunities, especially when Kansas goes to that 4-guard lineup and has that size height advantage. And Gray's is sensational. I mean, she can post up her defender quite well.
Gets the rebound here. Again, it's 6-1, but really good on the glass. She's got 5 points, 5 boards now. Gordon on the dribble. Now outside to Murray. Murray, San Diego State transfer. Bounce inside. Gray trying to post up on 𝗀𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗃. Lost the handle. Shot clock down to 5. 𝗀𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗃 will launch for 3, and it's off the back iron. No good. 𝗀𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗃 with another rebound.
And had the isolation play that they wanted with Gray on 𝗀𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗃. Just couldn't take care of it, and it was smooth move from 𝗀𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗃.
Holly 𝗀𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗃 has found if she gets that rebound, she's taking it the distance.
Nobody's picking her up, right?
Right?
I mean, they like to push in transition. It's just like, I'm just going to go ahead and take it all by myself.
So 𝗀𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗃 down with 6 points, 5 boards. Long shot out front from Wade Warren. It's a little outside the zone. We have a whistle and a foul, and Prater picks up the foul on Gray. Mitchell out, Thomas in. There's a look at first-year head coach for Texas Tech, Krista 𝗀𝗃𝗃, a Texas Tech alum, but coached at West Texas A&M. UT Arlington, had a really good run at UT Arlington, and in her first season as head coach at Texas Tech, she was on the national championship team for the Lady Raiders. That team included Cheryl Swoops, but Krista Gerlich, then Krista Kirkland was a guard in that squad. And one of the all-time greats playing-wise, and now back coaching with Texas Tech. Midpoint of the second quarter, Kansas by 2. Back with more on ESPN+.
Who do you call to fix a leaky faucet, running toilet, or backed up drain? I think you should call 𝗀𝗁𝗱𝗆, a company I trust and have used for over 10 years. If you call today, the service call fee is free. 𝗀𝗁𝗱𝗆 Heating, Cooling, and now Plumbing, service makes the difference.
At 𝘀𝗁𝗱𝗃𝗍 Credit Union, technology and convenience is very important to us.
We can be just as convenient as the biggest banks in the country thanks to technology.
We have a great online banking presence, and so I think with the technology that we have, we're competitive with other banks and credit unions.
It's about convenience, and the member nowadays wants convenience and security.
At 𝘀𝗁𝗃 Credit Union, we've made it so you can literally bank anywhere.
If I could reimagine health, what would I see? I'd see comfort, a place where I feel right at home. I'd see convenience, one state-of-the-art campus with experts for primary care, women's health, orthopedics and therapy, diagnostic imaging, and even surgery. I'd see a destination for health that brings more of what I love in life, inside and out. So, how would you reimagine health? Find it right here at the new LMH Health West Campus.
Hi, this is Bill Self with some straight talk about opioid abuse. We're all taught to share, but giving someone your pain medication isn't generous, it's reckless. Yet 1 in 5 people prescribed an opioid admit to sharing it. These drugs can be dangerous, even deadly. If you're asked to share, say no. Help prevent opioid abuse among your friends and family before it starts. Learn more about safe storage and disposal at itmattersks.org.
Did you know the levels of indoor air pollutants are often 2 to 5 times higher than outdoors? 𝗀𝗁𝗱𝗆 can help you breathe easy. With a qualifying carrier purchase, get free duct cleaning, HEPA filter, and virus-killing air scrubber. Call 𝗀𝗁𝗱𝗆 Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing today.
Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus brings you more than 400 exclusive live events. Select conference championship events, coaches' press conferences, and original content. Sign up for Big 12 Now on ESPNplus.com/Big 12 Now.
Good one underway here in Lawrence. Kansas leading Texas Tech 25-23. There's Holly 𝗀𝗄𝗃, the leading scorer in the season for the Jayhawks, who just picked up her second foul, and we'll head to the bench here at the 5-minute mark. And the foul on Gordon going to the bucket. And I got the bump before the drive, so a push on 𝗀𝗃𝗃 whistled. And so Gordon will be at the free throw line, but more importantly for Kansas, Holly 𝗀𝗃𝗃, who was starting to heat up. 6 points, 5 boards, couple of assists as well, has to sit down here with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter with 2 fouls. Gordon misses the second. Rebound to 𝗀𝗃𝗃. We'll keep tabs on her. She's got 8 boards already in this opening half.
Kansas, as they have for a lot of the season, continue to out-rebound their opponent. It's been a strong suit, very active on the glass.
Prater the drive and kick. Corner 3 is missed by Franklin. Rebound 2, Texas Tech. Murray on the push now, through the lane, driving kick. Here's Vivian Gray. Defended now by Prater. Franklin's picking up Lexi Gordon. A little size advantage here. Nice hesitation dribble. Prater, nice help defense, but Gray is there again. Not only does she do a fantastic job when she has the ball, but her work away from the ball, again, just has a nose for getting there for that rebound as well. Doing a nice job on the offensive glass so far tonight is Vivian Gray, who heads to the free throw line after being fouled. 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃 picks up her second, so she will check out.
So Kansas having to go to even a smaller lineup than we've seen them this year.
Tina Stevens at 6'2", the biggest Jayhawk on the floor at the moment. Gray knocks in a pair.
Last two possessions for Texas Tech. Some free throw opportunities for Gordon and Gray to the, that dynamic scoring duo for the Lady Raiders.
Weave out front against the zone, trying to spread things out. Prater now in the lane. Shot clock under 10. Franklin going to work. Going strong at Gray with the right hand, up and good. Skaya Franklin with the strong move to the bucket, puts Kansas back in front.
And her strong side is the left side. She's a lefty, so a great move to the right and a good defensive possession and stop from Tina Stevens.
Here's Julie Brousseau at the hot hand early, this time on the drive, can't get it to drop. And a couple of made threes early and 8 quick points. Inside to Gray. Turnaround shot, doesn't miss too many of those. Tip out though is Texas Tech. Wade Warren on the interior, able to tip it out in a fresh possession for Texas Tech. Trying to post up inside with Wade Warren, turns and faces on Stevens. And Stevens holds her ground nicely defensively. Back the other way comes Kansas. Stevens on the trailer, fake the three, goes drive instead, gets up and under, but can't get it to fall. Prater ripped the rebound away from Gray. Tina Stevens on the ground, just looking to get out of the way.
A double dribble, I think, there, just missed.
Might have got away with it. Little broken possession here, shot clock down to 4, and ball is flipped out. Unfortunately for Kansas, it lands in the lap of one of tonight's officials, Dee Cantner. I was waiting for her to kind of spot up for 3 there and help out. One of the terrific officials here in the Big 12, Dee Cantner, Madge Forsberg, and Brian Garland, our officiating crew here tonight. In this Big 12 matchup, good one so far in the opening half, back and forth, Kansas and Texas Tech. Gray with a step through, missed the short one. Put back is up and good by Alexis Tucker.
I talked about the rebound margin, that Kansas is still ahead, but it's been on the offensive glass where Texas Tech has really proven to pick up some points, and 9 offensive rebounds now.
Out of bounds, Kansas will maintain.
And 15 second chance points. So they are utilizing those offensive rebounds as extra opportunities for big time points and keeping them now with the lead in this game.
𝗀𝗲 Leonti back into the Kansas lineup. The freshman out of Athens, Greece, missed the last couple of games, and she's kind of on a pitch count here tonight. She'll be limited in her minutes. So got a few minutes in the first quarter and play the final 2 minutes here of the second. Did pick up 2 quick fouls in her first rotation. Prater stops and pops. The shot clock at 6 off the back iron. Rebound to Texas Tech. And we have a whistle and a foul away from the ball on Texas Tech. I think that was Tucker that got whistled for the foul.
I think it might have been Powell, actually.
Yeah, it was. Dahlia Powell, who had just checked in, got a little forearm shiver whistled for. And they're really looking for it. Looking for those early post-ups, and it's been each team, it's been a kind of a point of emphasis, you could tell here tonight. Franklin on the crossover. 𝗀𝗱𝗱𝘆 back into the Kansas lineup. Dishes to Brousseau, drives on Vivian Gray. Gray may have got a piece of it on the way up and got the rebound. Back comes Texas Tech. Baseline jumper is good. Alexis Tucker had a stick back bucket a moment ago, and this is a nice looking baseline shot. And Texas Tech now up 3.
The defense has to converge on Gray, and then leaves Tucker on that sweet little baseline shot. And you get another entry pass, and now Kansas with 11 turnovers.
Murray for 3, and that one's an air ball. Wow, the reverse follow, and Tucker also wanted the foul. She spun it off the glass, and it went in. Flipped it up over the shoulder, and a nice follow from Tucker, who's got 3 quick buckets here in the last minute. Thomas with the drive and draws the contact. A couple free throws upcoming for Anaya Thomas.
And once again, a three that was misfired, but gobbling up this rebound, if you will, and up and in, and took some contact. So rightfully so, and maybe wanting some contact and getting a three-point play opportunity, but nonetheless,
Tucker making the
back-to-back
most
buckets
of her minutes. She's got 8 points to lead Texas Tech here in the opening half. Free throw missed by Thomas as Tech's now matched their biggest lead at 5, led early in the first quarter. Second free throw for Thomas is good. So shot clock differential about 7 seconds. So see how much Texas Tech takes of this clock, but Kansas will get an opportunity to get the ball back. Tech very patient here against the zone. Skip pass backside to 𝗀𝗱𝗱𝗆, double teamed, kicks it out to Gray. Now to Gordon, extra pass to 𝗀𝗱𝗱𝗆, fakes a shot at 2, at 1, they're gonna have to hurry, couldn't get the shot off. Good defensive stop for Kansas on the final trip down the floor. And Brandon Schneider appreciative of the defensive effort. Holly Kersgeeter is gonna check in here with 7 seconds to go. Despite her 2 fouls, they wanna get her a last look
yeah.
for the green light of Kansas, Holly Kersgeeter. So
well, they have Brosseau and Kersgeeter in here, so 2 sharp shooters for the Jayhawks, but nobody picks up.
Franklin off the screen and couldn't hit it. And we're at halftime. So a late spurt by Texas Tech has the Red Raiders up by 4 in a very close opening half here in Lawrence. Halftime as Texas Tech leads Kansas 32-28. We'll be back with our halftime in a moment. Big 12 now on ESPN+. Then Kirkland, Krista 𝗀𝗱𝗃, though, the head coach at Texas Tech, then Krista Kirkland at Texas Tech, and those two went on to win the national championship in 1993. And so these two coaches date back a long ways. I said, a small world. He said, yep, absolutely. Sometimes that's how coaching is, and when your dads are coaches, the world becomes even smaller. So these two matching up here tonight in Big 12 play. Good first half. Texas Tech leading by 4 as we start the second half. Inside quickly to 𝗃𝗁𝗃, who gets the entry, catch, and finish. She has just been quite a story here. Didn't play a lot early in the season, but again,
at all last year, really.
And,
I mean, we saw her limited minutes from a season ago and even the beginning of this season, and just the work that she's put in, even with, film and watching extra film and just refining her skills, understanding the playbook and playing to her strengths.
Yeah, seems she's very comfortable with the catch and go to the hoop, which
keep it high, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be fancy, keeping it simple.
Stevens on the bounce, and Gray knocks it away for Texas Tech. And Kansas will get the inbound.
Gray saying, I didn't touch it, I swear. She didn't think that ball contacted her at all, but.
Yeah, this one's thrown in the backcourt and eventually out of bounds. So a little unforced again. That was a problem in the first half for Kansas. 11 first half turnovers, and a lot of them were that variety. Just kind of without pressure. Ball thrown over the head of Kersgeeter and out of bounds. There's a look at the first-year head coach from Texas Tech, Krista 𝗀𝗃𝗃. Returning to her alma mater.
Coming off a huge win for the program and knocking off a ranked Texas team.
And still on fire on the second half is Alexis Tucker, who had 8 points off the bench for Texas Tech and knocks down a quick 3 to start the second. So Texas Tech is a 1-2 punch that's always kind of looking for that extra helper on any particular game, and tonight it happens to be Tucker who takes the brunt of a foul here on Anaya Thomas. And Thomas will head to the line for a pair.
Trying to work through that zone and just get some penetration on that gap, that slot lane there, just driving to the bucket. And it was 𝗃𝗁𝗃𝗃, though, that was ready to gobble up that weak side rebound. But a free throw opportunity here for Thomas. who's been pretty quiet, just 1 point in that first half. So Jayhawks certainly trying to look to get her a few more opportunities. Such an athletic player, and we've seen her from time to time, you know, be that leading scorer for Kansas.
Last year's leading scorer on the season with 12.6 points per game. She's averaging just over 9 a ball game this year, 5 double-figure games, knocks down a pair and gets Kansas back within 3.
Kansas reverting back to this zone that they went to late in that second quarter.
Thomas jumps the passing lane, rips it away from Jackson, and is off to the races for the lay-in. There's the Anaya Thomas we know, getting active on the defensive end, which leads to an easy score.
It's that activity, it's, as you mentioned, jumping that passing lane, and that's how Anaya Thomas can get a lot of her scoring opportunities, and her buckets are easy ones like that just because of her athleticism and defense.
Gordon in and out for 3. That one was halfway down and spit back out. Kansas now can regain the lead. And for the first time here in the second half. 𝗀𝗁𝗃𝗍𝗃 for 3. And it's going to trickle out in front of the Kansas bench, out of bounds to Texas Tech. Ehrlich back into the Red Raider lineup. Anaya Thomas with the rip and run a moment ago. A little bit of contact there with Jackson, no whistle, and Thomas will take it the distance. Her first bucket from the field.
Telegraphing that pass a little bit, and so Anaya Thomas reads it the entire way, and Kansas continuing to stay in this defensive set here.
Gordon gets free on the baseline and knocks down the 2-pointer. Nice baseline jumper for Alexis Gordon. Nice crossover by Franklin. Drew the contact. We had a late whistle, but a foul on. I think it's going to be whistled on Tucker. Second foul on Tucker, both coming here in the second half, and free throws once again for Kansas. So Jayhawks getting the free throw line here in the second half early, as Franklin was fouled going to the hoop. It's the first. Franklin double figures in her last 3 games, averaging 8 points on the season. And knocks down a pair. Franklin now with 7. And the Jayhawks within 1. Gordon lost the handle. 𝗀𝗁𝗃𝗍𝗃 getting to the floor. And it's going to be whistled for the foul. Brandon Schneider can't believe that's going to be the 3rd foul on 𝗀𝗁𝗃𝗍𝗃 on the hustle play there, and got the legs tripped on Lexi Gordon. And 𝗀𝗁𝗃𝗍𝗃 will have to sit with her 3rd foul. 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗍𝗃 back into the Kansas lineup. So 𝗀𝗁𝗃𝗍𝗃 goes to the bench. Home crowd not too pleased with that one.
A defensive assignment for Chandler Prater, all over on Gray, one-on-one.
Turns and just misfires, and then a loose ball out of bounds off of Kansas. Had 2 Jayhawks there, can't come away with the rebound, so Texas Tech will inbound.
It's just in and out for Gray. So many of her shots, along with Gordon, have just been in and out.
There's Gordon into the lane against double team. 𝗀𝗁𝗃𝗍𝗃 back in the Kansas lineup, gets the rebound. Brousseau from the wing for 3 and hits. Her 3rd made 3 of the night, now in double figures with 11.
It's a quick release, isn't it? I mean, that doesn't need a lot of space or time. And up and in as 𝗀𝗁𝗃𝗍𝗃 goes to the bench, it's definitely Brousseau that takes over those shooting duties and the hot hand. And activity once again, Tucker on the glass.
Another second chance and another putback for Tucker off of the Gray miss. Alexis Tucker with 13. Brousseau will try to answer. This time from the other wing. Can't get it to fall. Back comes Gordon to the baseline. Spins and leaves it short. Good help defense that time for Kansas. Back the other way comes Franklin. Approaching the midpoint here, the third quarter. Thomas on the drive, gets the shoulders past 𝗀𝗲𝗱𝘆, can't hit. 𝗀𝗁𝗲𝗄𝗃 with the follow. Does not drop, but she is fouled. 2 free throws upcoming for Kansas on the second chance opportunity.
A strong drive as Anaya Thomas, seeing that she has a quick step there into the lane, can't get it to go, but a weak side defense from 𝗀𝗁𝗲𝗄𝗃, keeping the ball high and going up with it quickly. And we've been mentioning so much as Texas Tech with some second chance points. Kansas outscoring 19-5, but an opportunity here for Kansas to get, that extra possession, if you will, and some points.
𝗀𝗁𝗲𝗄𝗃 hits the second, puts Kansas back in front by 1. Brooklyn Mitchell back into the Jayhawk lineup. 𝗿𝗂𝗍𝗍 back into the Texas Tech lineup. Been a while since we've seen her down in the post for Texas Tech. Backdoor cut. Jackson to the hole off the nifty assist from 𝗍𝗍 for the bucket. And Texas Tech back in front. Back and forth we go here in the third quarter. Prater will launch for 3, and way short on that one. Kind of a quick shot that time. It's out of bounds to Texas Tech. Time on the floor will take one as well. Just past the midpoint here of the third quarter. Tight ball game. Texas Tech leads by 1. Big 12 now on ESPN+.
For the first time in Honda's history, Honda has 0% financing for 60. For the first time in Honda's history, Honda has 0% financing for 60.
This is star power from the jump.
Life is busy, and sometimes odors can sneak up on you.
He's finally asleep.
Sometimes you need to take a...
First up is this exquisite bowl of French onion dip. I'm going to start the bidding at 5.
For the first time in Honda's history, Honda has 0% financing for 60.
Hulu show my team hit a game winner. I seen her walk off for a series.
You wouldn't go a day without washing your hands, but what about your nose? It's the body's air filter.
Get ready for Stephen A's World. I'm giving audiences a cornucopia of content. Sport.
Whoa, Susan.
Oh, I'm looking for coupon codes.
Well, capital.
Okay.
One app, one tap, that's that. One swipe, one slide, sing it back. One.
With the top-rated app that lets you deposit checks and transfer money anytime, anywhere, bank...
He's finally asleep.
Sometimes you need to take a...
Hulu has live sports. Hulu.
Damn, that was dope.
He's unstoppable. The emerging star.
Okay.
It has taken over 70 years for Honda to offer it. Announcing 0% finance.
Most Monday ever.
Case of the Mondays.
One app lets you follow any team, any league, any player. You control the whole scene.
This is the best of the best.
One-point ball game here, midpoint of the third quarter. Texas Tech led by 4 at the halftime break. A little bit of back and forth here in the third quarter. And Tech back up by 1. Jayhawks coming out of the timeout. We'll check the lineups for you. Mitchell, 𝘀𝗲𝗄𝗱𝘆, Thomas, Brosseau, and Tina Stevens. Holly 𝘀𝗲𝗄𝗽 remains on the bench. Jayhawks leading scorer on the season. 3 fouls, though. Picked up her third early on here in the third quarter. And they'll continue to buy her some minutes on the bench in a tight game. Meanwhile, Jayhawks have made Vivian Gray work tonight. Leading scorer, averaging better than 20 games. As you mentioned, 28-point clip over the last few. 7 points, does have 7 rebounds, but they made her work. 2 of 11 from the field for Gray.
Kind of a junk defense. Good play there, execution.
Jackson's got backdoor twice.
Yeah, when they went back to a man-to-man defense to the Jayhawks, as they had been going to, kind of like a box-and-one situation.
Faye with the foul as 𝘀𝗲𝗄𝗽𝗆 was driving to the hoop. So freshman on freshman there, and Jayhawks will get another free throw. They've been to the line here in the second half. Done a nice job here in the third quarter getting to the stripe. That's their 7th free throw here in the third quarter. And hits the first.
So quiet, isn't it? I mean, these free throw attempts, it's
limited capacity games, of course, all over the country. And so, yes, it makes it very, very quiet on free throws, and I hate to interfere with anybody's free throw shooting. Teams are having, such a hard time even right now practicing, right? What's one of the last things you're probably able to do right now? Shoot free throws, right? So I'm trying to help out everybody. Equal opportunity here.
I agree.
At the free throw line, but I'll try to be quiet.
Yes.
Yeah. Tipped out, and Texas Tech will inbound in front of their own bench. Mentioned Texas Tech coming off a big win, a victory at Texas, 74-66, ending a 14-game skid against the Longhorns. They had not beaten them in 7 years. And for Krista Gerlich, a pretty marquee win. That was the first season coach to get a top 25 win at Texas Tech in about 15 years. So they had a lot on the line, got that victory over the Longhorns coming into tonight, and leading here by 1 in the third quarter at Kansas. Mitchell the shot. 𝘀𝗲𝗄𝗽𝗆 with the putback, up and good. Good to see the freshman back at it after a couple game absence, getting the offensive rebound putback. And Kansas back in front by 1.
As my friend David Lawrence says, that's his 15 and 15 type of player right there. And 𝘀𝗲𝗄𝗽𝗆, he said, I think she can just average 15 and 15.
She was averaging 8.6 points, 9.4 rebounds. But again, out the last couple of games. Good international player, freshman recruit for Kansas out of Athens, Greece. Had some experience on the national team that won the bronze medal at the FIBA tournament in 2019. And was off to a great start. Kind of got caught up in the COVID protocol, so it's good to see her back on the floor. Kind of limited minutes here tonight, but she gets the rebound now going coast to coast. We've seen her do that as well. Real good ball handling for 𝘀𝗲𝗄𝗽𝗆 off of Texas Tech and out of bounds. 𝘀𝗍𝗏𝗏 back in, the leading scorer for the Jayhawks. 3 fouls here, checks back in with 2:26 to go in the third. Also, 𝘀𝗏𝗄𝗎 back inside in the middle for Kansas. Here's 𝘀𝗍𝗏𝗏 being defended now by Gray. 2 of the best scorers in the Big 12. 𝘀𝗍𝗏𝗏 right away at Vivian Gray and draws the foul.
We always kind of look forward to these matchups when 2 elite players in the conference, right, match up one-on-one, and Gray was shaking her head, didn't think she got kind of the follow-through foul there on 𝘀𝗍𝗏𝗏, but nonetheless foul called, and going to the line remains perfect.
Didn't we just talk about not talking during free throws?
I did,
okay.
right? But I didn't jinx her, so I don't feel bad.
That's true. Second one upcoming. And hits them both. 𝘀𝗍𝗏𝗏 remains perfect on the season, knocks down the free throws, and now with 8 points. And Kansas back in front by 1. Entry pass inside, knocked away by Kansas. So Texas Tech will maintain.
Just neither team able to get separation here from one another in this ball game. The biggest lead has been Texas Tech up by 5, and
Kansas' biggest lead was 3. So neither have sprinted away from the other. Good one here tonight in Big 12 play. Gray with the hesitation dribble and then pops the shot in the middle of the lane. You kind of wondering when she's going to get going. 9 points, but that's more of the Vivian Gray. She's had those kind of close calls in this one. Ball's kind of been jumping out of the rim on her. Normally really, really accurate shooter, and Kansas has made her work here tonight. Drive inside, knocked away. Thomas, though, gets it back and then is bumped by Murray. So nice job by Nia Thomas. What looked like might be a turnover, able to get it back and then draw the foul.
That's just tremendous effort from Nia Thomas. I mean, for her to make up that step, too, to get that ball back and then get bumped by Murray, exceptional effort.
Thomas hits the first. Jayhawks 10 of 11 at the line here in the third quarter. Just 6 free throw attempts in the opening half. And calmly knocks down a pair, does Thomas. Thomas with 7 points, including 5 of 6 at the line. And Kansas back up 1.
So Kansas pulling all their players back, you know, trying to get back, did not want to allow Texas Tech to be able to work at all quickly, and that almost gets it to go.
In and out for Gray for 3. Mitchell after a heavy screen from Stevens, who then rolls to the basket and draws the foul. Boy, Stevens laid a screen out front, then slipped down low and draws the foul on Faye.
I think some frustration from Texas Tech on some of these fouls, but I think that was truly a follow-through foul there in contact. So going to the line once again as Kansas has continued to do a great job, as you mentioned, Josh, of getting to the line in this third quarter specifically.
Off the rim on the first for Stevens. Tina Stevens, 4.7 boards. And second one a little bit strong, so missed a pair. Now we're about a minute to go here in the quarter, and Kansas up 1. Gray will bring it up for Texas Tech. 9 points, 9 boards for the senior. Drives to the hole and missed it. Gordon scoops up the free ball, shoots a 3, and too strong. 𝗀𝗄𝗃 to the rebound for Kansas. So a little low, where each team's having a little bit of problem scoring the basketball at the moment, but neither separated. 𝗀𝗃 launches for 3. That one's off the mark. Rebound to 𝗀𝗃. Stevens down for Kansas, so it's 5-on-4 back the other way for the Red Raiders. Left open is Murray for 3, and that's off the window and good. Just touched the glass, and Texas Tech back in front by 2. And Kansas will hold for the final shot here of the third quarter. Entire take the lead. 𝗀𝗃 through the lane, missed it. Putback is good to beat the buzzer and tie it up at 50, heading to the fourth quarter. Holly 𝗀𝗃 with the stick back to get in double figures with 10. Jayhawks tie it up. We head to the fourth. Kansas 50, Texas Tech 50. Big 12 now on ESPN+. In this Big 12 matchup between Kansas and Texas Tech. Texas Tech's biggest lead at 5, Kansas led by 3. Both of those margins came in the opening half, and it's been a tight ball game throughout, and the Jayhawks have made the leading scorer of Texas Tech, Vivian Gray, work.
And just watch her, all the contact she's getting from all the defenders from the Jayhawks, just continuing to just, you know, make sure they know where she is, and constantly having to fight to get any type of scoring opportunity. But if you got to think, it could be Vivian Gray time for her to kind of take over. She's led the team 20 points a game. Does she average? Sitting at 9 right now.
Inside look and a loose ball scooped up by Gordon and fouled on the back. Looks like 𝗀𝗃𝗄 will get whistled for the foul. 𝗀𝗃 was there too, and that would have been her 4th, so it's 𝗀𝗃𝗄 with the foul. May have been a little fortunate that that one's called on 𝗀𝗃𝗄. And not 𝗀𝗁𝗃𝗍𝗄. 𝗀𝗁𝗃 picks up her third. And Gordon at the free throw line misses the first. Gordon and Gray, the dynamic duo for Texas Tech, average close to 38 points per ball game. They're sitting at 17 combined heading into the fourth quarter. Kansas has done a terrific job on them, but to Texas Tech's credit, they've been getting some great contributions from others tonight. Alexis Turner off the bench, leading them with 13 points, 8 for 𝗀𝗄𝗃 Murray.
Yeah,
a few other players also contributing from a scoring standpoint, taking the burden off Gray and Gordon. But you imagine it might only be a matter of time. Kansas will try to continue to focus on those two. And here's Julie Brousseau, who's been a factor for Kansas. The drive, and it's going to be a whistle and a foul on a push-off, as 𝗀𝗃𝗄𝗃 picks up 2 quick ones here in the fourth, and will have to sit down with 4 fouls. On the clear out there, she's whistled for the foul in the lane. Gray on the dribble, fouled out front by Prater. So Kansas had a heck of an effort defensively on Vivian Gray here tonight. Mentioned had made her work. Gray, career highs, the Oklahoma State transfer, averaged just over 19 a ball game last year, 20 as a sophomore at Oklahoma State, and then her senior year now at Texas Tech. She's averaging better than 20 a ball game.
And very efficient this season as well. I mean, hitting 46% of her shots this year, is working, efficiently this season as well.
𝗀𝗃𝗃 for 3, knocks down a timely one with the shot clock at 5 to put Texas Tech back in front. Coach's daughter knocks down the 3. Kind of an empty possession going for Texas Tech, and 𝗀𝗃𝗃 out of nowhere hits the deep 3. 𝗀𝗁𝗃𝗃 tries to answer. That one left short. Tried to follow it herself, rebound to Murray. Here comes Texas Tech. 𝗀𝗃𝗃 now feeling it the other side. Gray may have stolen the pass intended. Oh, that was intended for 𝗀𝗃𝗃, who was lined up on the wing, and Gray scooped it in the middle of the lane, couldn't hit the shot. 𝗀𝗃𝗃 and Gray, teammates at Oklahoma State before transferring to Texas Tech. Prater's first shot missed, second shot missed. Rebound fought for and tied up. Possession arrow will point to Kansas as 𝗀𝗃𝗃 down on the floor, getting tied up with Wade Warren of Texas Tech.
A great extra effort there from Holly 𝗀𝗃𝗃, and Kansas, I think, as we looked in this fourth quarter, just a few minutes in, as the fresh legs, as the legs come into factor on some of these shots. I think we saw Holly 𝗀𝗃𝗃 come up short on her 3 attempt.
Brousseau wanted the foul there in the corner off the 3, didn't get the whistle. Back the other way comes Texas Tech. Gray posting up inside, draws the foul on the freshman, 𝗀𝗁𝗃𝗍𝗄𝗃 Leonti.
Such a tough matchup as Vivian Gray presents to anybody in this league, right? I mean, she just has that mid-range scoring ability and that post up on any type of, smaller defender or even bigger defender. I mean, just such a smooth, fluid player.
1 on 3, Gray goes to the rack and draws the foul in the &1.
And coming up with the biggest bucket all night, and it was hard fought, right? I mean, it was right through, slicing through 3 defenders come down to help out, and Vivian Gray still gets it to go. That's the All-American just going to work.
It's pretty well defended.
Very well.
She just muscled through it. And Gray with the bucket, the &1. Down to double figures with 11. Missed the free throw. Would have given Texas Tech their biggest lead, but they match it at 5 here in the fourth quarter. Brousseau inside. 𝗀𝗁𝗃𝗍𝗄𝗃 Leonti double teamed. Fights through it with the left hand off the window and good. And timeout on the floor will take one as well with 7:31 to go here in the fourth. Texas Tech leading Kansas by 3. Back with more Big 12 Now on ESPN+.
For the first time in Honda's history, Honda has 0% financing for 60.
Still your best friend, and now your co-pilot. still.
You know Miller Lite. You know Miller Lite. You know Miller Lite.
For the first time in Honda's history, Honda has 0% financing for 60. It has taken over 70 years for Honda to offer it. Announcing 0% finance.
You know Miller Lite. 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 You know Miller Lite.
It has taken over 70 years for Honda to offer it. Announcing 0% finance.
You know Miller Lite. You know Miller Lite.
For the first time in Honda's history, Honda has 0% financing for 60.
You know Miller Lite. You know Miller Lite.
One app, one tap, that's that. One swipe, one slide, sing it back. Always.
You know Miller Lite.
Rain-X premium silicone wiper blades last 2 times longer than traditional.
You know Miller Lite.
First up is this exquisite bowl of French onion dip. I'm going to start the bidding at 5.
Get ready for Stephen A's World. I'm giving audiences a cornucopia of content. Sport.
You know Miller Lite. You know Miller Lite.
Kansas calling timeout here early fourth quarter. Coach Brandon Schneider giving his team a little breather. Again, this is their first home game in 2021. They played just 2 games so far this calendar year and haven't been on the practice floor much. He mentioned they were kind of deconditioned, and so wise use of a timeout here early fourth quarter. They've trimmed the Texas Tech lead to 3. After the bucket calls timeout, sets the defense, and gives his team a little breather. Texas Tech, meanwhile, ended a 4-game losing streak with their win at Texas, looking for back-to-back wins here in the Big 12. Murray off the handoff. Still on the bounce in front of the Texas Tech bench, trying to isolate Vivian Gray, but Chandler Prater face guarding her right now, really making her work. 𝗀𝗄𝗱𝘆 for a long 3. This one off the glass, no good. The shot clock winding down. Kansas the rebound, now looking to push. 𝗀𝗱𝗆 for a minute had a seam, but we'll get it back in the half court. 𝗀𝗁𝗄𝗆𝗆 in the lane. No look pass. Prater, the baseline jumper is good. Chandler Prater got free on the baseline and knocks down the jumper. Kansas within 1.
Smart extra pass, as such a good interior passer is 𝗀𝗁𝗄𝗆𝗆𝗆. Just her ability to see and her vision as a big, finding the open Prater to knock down that little jumper.
And she's always got a little mustard on that hot dog too. Loves that no-look pass, right? When it works, it's great. Timeout for Texas Tech. Krista 𝗀𝗀𝗋 calls the timeout with 6:24 to go in the fourth. Texas Tech leading by 1.
Kind of back and forth so far in this fourth quarter, as Texas Tech had jumped out to, it was 50-50 going into the fourth, and then, 5-0 run, and then Kansas now with 4 straight points. Taking care of the basketball. Kansas just with 2 turnovers in the second half so far. So certainly something that they had, gotten straightened out, as they had 11 at halftime, just now with 13 on the ball game.
And got to the free throw line. Cut down the turnovers,
Definitely.
got to the free throw line in the second half, and that's kind of where they have made their bones here in the second half. Texas Tech, meanwhile, led by 5 early on, and a close game led by 4 at halftime. And as you mentioned, tied at 50 at the end of 3, and now Texas Tech holding on to a 1-point lead in what's been a very good ball game here tonight in Lawrence. Kansas playing just their fourth, league game. Had some postponements, and then Texas Tech playing their 8th league game heading into tonight. So you look at the standings, and there are various numbers. They don't all add up to the same amount of games. You see Baylor's played just 4. Iowa State got a win at Baylor already, a marquee victory for the Cyclones. Those are the 2 ranked teams in the conference, Iowa State and Baylor at the moment. Kansas State, who will be the Jayhawks' next opponent on Saturday, took a loss tonight on the road at West Virginia, but you see that was just their 3rd ball game in league play. They've been hit pretty hard as well by some postponements. So,
and they were up in the 4th quarter, going into the 4th quarter by 8, I believe. I saw at West Virginia. So a Kansas State team that, like Kansas, has faced some adversity on just not having a lot of games, gotten hit with some, COVID protocols, and certainly had some postponement of games. And so it'll be an interesting matchup of this Sunflower Showdown this upcoming Saturday here in Lawrence.
4 o'clock will be the start time. Jill and I will have the broadcast here, Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus, for that matchup, Kansas and Kansas State, coming up on Saturday. See Texas Tech there, despite 2 wins, below Kansas in the standings. And Texas Tech looking for back-to-back victories in league play after their win at Texas in their previous ball game. Again, that ended a 14-game losing streak to the Longhorns. Krista Gerlich with the timeout and getting some instructions to her Texas Tech squad. Here with 6:24 to play. So very competitive ball game here tonight. Both teams doing some work on the defensive end of the floor. Gordon will trigger in for Texas Tech. Has to hurry, does finally get it in to Jackson. Here's Tucker, leading scorer on the night for Texas Tech. Post up with a shot clock at 2, hits the baseline shot. Alexis Tucker having herself a ball game tonight, now with 15. Answering quickly back the other way, Julie Brosseau knocks down the 3. And guess what? We're tied.
Well, 2 good, strong possessions for both teams, as Texas Tech got exactly what they wanted on that low block, strong move, as Alexis Tucker has continued to impress tonight. And then a huge 3 to follow up, a 3 from the Jayhawks, is Lexi Gordon.
The offense picking up again out of the timeout as 2 teams exchanging 3s. Brosseau picked up her 14th point for Kansas. Gordon into double figures now with 11 after that made 3. Inside, kick back out, extra pass. Brosseau again for 3 from the wing. This one too strong, rebound to Gerlich of Texas Tech. Red Raiders by 3.
I'm just kind of waiting for that tandem of Gray and Gordon as the dynamic duo, averaging 37 points a game. Good defense, though, as Chandler Prater gets in front of Gray on that defensive possession. And
takes herself at the other end, left it short, got the putback, no good. So Prater working hard that time, but couldn't come up with the bucket at the other end. And Texas Tech will bring it back up the floor with Gerlich handling out front. And off the screen and roll, Brosseau is going to be whistled for the grab on Vivian Gray. So Brosseau picks up the foul for Kansas, just her 2nd. Murray in for Texas Tech as Vivian Gray will head to the free throw line in the bonus for Texas Tech. It's the first. Vivian Gray with 8 20-point ball games, including 4 in a row. 12 of the 13 games this season in double figures. They made her work to get to double figures so far here tonight, with 9 points entering this quarter, but now starting to pick it up. A couple free throws after a made bucket, now with 13 for Gray. Knocked out of bounds, and Kansas will have it back. Hersketer back in for the Jayhawks, replacing Brosseau. for Gray, her low game this year, a 1-point outing, if you can believe that, against Rice. Went 0 for 9 from the field in 39 minutes. That doesn't happen often, and then she's just been pretty much red hot the rest of the season. Again, 12 double-figure games, 8 of those with 20-point games. Just a fantastic score. The transfer from Oklahoma State in her final campaign with Texas Tech. Shot is missed by Kansas from distance. And Texas Tech an opportunity here to set their biggest lead of the game here late. Drive to the hole is missed. Jackson with the rebound. Back outside Murray, high arcing three. No good, and a rebound to Kansas. So Tech had a look there to push to their biggest margin thus far. Under 4 minutes to go in a 5-point ball game. Franklin. Whistle and a foul. 𝗀𝗲𝗄𝗃 with the foul on the screen. And she's going to be taken out of the game now for 𝗀𝗻𝗄𝗃. And just moving there and guiding Murray through the lane. So foul whistled on the Jayhawk freshman. And she'll sit down with 4 fouls. 𝗀𝗄𝗃 back in with 4 fouls. In the middle for Kansas. Kick out Jackson for 3. Swishes home from the corner in front of the Texas Tech bench. And now the Lady Raiders have their biggest lead of the game at 8.
Big time bucket, and it's just a smooth drive, and defense comes over and it knocks down a major 3 for Texas Tech as they're starting to open it up a bit here now in the 4th quarter.
𝗀𝗃𝗃 the missed 3. And a foul inside on Gordon. On Stevens. Kansas not in the bonus yet. Here's the drive and kick, and a big made 3 for Maka Jackson. She's had back-to-back 11-point games as Jackson, and approaching that territory again now with 9. And the ball sticks, and hey, those floor mops come in handy. That's amazing. How that ball stays there. So the possession arrow goes to Texas Tech on what ends up being a jump ball situation. What a quick step to the hole. Alexis Tucker on the blow by. Her big night continues. Back the other way, Kansas. Thomas on the run out, got ahead of the pack and is fouled by Murray.
And a 10-0 run for Texas Tech. Just continue to play good defense and then getting some good shots on the offensive end and starting to open this ball game up. And it's been impressive the last few possessions for Texas Tech, and just a strong move and players getting their shot. And then, as you mentioned, Josh, a quick first step beats 𝗀𝗃𝗃 off the dribble, and Tucker has continued to have such an amazing night. 17 points for Alexis Tucker.
𝗀𝗃𝗃 thought about 3, hesitated, now fires a 3, and this one off the mark. Got herself a little bit out of the rhythm, right? Maybe want to shoot that first time. The hesitation might have got her, and tired legs, it looks like, a little bit right now for Kansas as Tech on a 10-0 run. Now trying to post up Gray, defended by Stevens down low. Tucker out front has been the story for Texas Tech. 17 points off the bench. Entry pass forced at that time to Gray and out of bounds. Probably didn't need that force feed into the post to Gray. Was fighting to get open, but clearly not, and turned over back to Kansas. So Jayhawks gonna have to hurry down 10. Again, it's been a close battle throughout until Texas Tech's late 10-0 run. 𝗀𝗃𝗃 tries to chip into it, no good. Second chance, 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃, another no-look pass. 𝗀𝗃𝗃 can't hit the short one, rebound to Texas Tech. So couple of trips, or a couple opportunities, I should say, in that trip for Kansas. Can't get it to drop. Now Texas Tech will take a little time here on their offensive end.
A scoring drought that continues for the Jayhawks, spanning over now 4 minutes, where Texas Tech has been able to utilize their possessions and make some shots, and now Kansas just going to have to work so fast now, still down by 10, and just haven't been able to get a shot to drop.
Stevens will launch for 3. Oh, and gets the touch to drop. Tina Stevens, which a much needed bucket for Kansas, back within 7. But just a minute to go. Brousseau on the steal, rips it away from Murray. Bounce to Stevens. 𝗀𝗲𝗍𝗍 in the lane, can't get a shot off. So Kansas had the opportunity after the steal and could not get a shot at the bucket.
Give Texas Tech credit there defensively, though. They did not foul the Jayhawks. They stood their ground. They made some good, just kind of movements defensively there.
Shot clock down to 5. Here goes Gray. Drive, kick, Murray for 3, and that's a dagger. Najee Murray knocks down the 3 from the corner. Kansas will call timeout as Texas Tech pushes back out to 10 as Murray beats the shot clock. Drive and kick by Vivian Gray.
The defense has definitely have to go with Vivian Gray there as she's driving to the basket. But now there's been 2 huge threes. You think about late in the 4th quarter, and it's been the combination of Murray and Jackson, those 2 big marquee players who have been that good combination, along with Gray and Gordon from a scoring perspective, that have came up at vital times in the 4th quarter.
What was 50-50 at the end of 3, 20-10. Texas Tech outscoring the Jayhawks here in the 4th, a 13-3 run. And Kansas will inbound now at midcourt. There's the Texas Tech huddle of Krista Gerlich looking for back-to-back victories here in the Big 12 after their win over Texas. Hard-fought ball game here tonight. A nice 4th quarter spurt, though. Has a 10-point margin with 26.3 left on the clock for Texas Tech. Despite the run, Jill, Texas Tech hasn't been completely clean. They have kind of some unforced turnovers trying to force the ball inside, but Kansas unable to really take advantage at the other end here in the waning minutes. Have to absolutely hurry now. Thomas buries the 3, and Kansas calls timeout. 21.2 to go. The quick 3 from Anaya Thomas to get it back to 7. So nice play out of the timeout for Kansas.
This is a tough shot. It was well executed, though. Good screen there. Gives a little bit of space from Anaya Thomas on a deep 3 that she knocks down.
She gets the double figures now with 10. 3rd double-figure score of the night for Kansas. But again, 21.2 seconds left, so time not on the side of Kansas here with this late Texas Tech push. What's amazing about this one for Texas Tech, the push has come really from Alexis Tucker here tonight. 17 points to lead Texas Tech. Also some big buckets. Murray had the big 3
and
a moment ago. Jackson knocked down a 3 earlier. Gray and Gordon have combined for 24, but well off their almost 38 points per game, but it's been the others that have chipped in. And Texas Tech will call timeout. Kansas has set up the full court pressure. Texas Tech got a look, calls timeout. They'll be able to advance the ball now to midcourt. So well-fought ball game here tonight. Texas Tech now trying to hold on, up 7 here late. They led by 4 or 5, I should say, early on. Game was tied at the end of 1. A 4-point Texas Tech lead at halftime. Then the game was back tied at 50 after 3 quarters. Texas Tech, courtesy of a 10-0 run, created some distance for the first time in this ball game, now trying to hang on here late.
A team that's won 2 of their last 3 meetings in Lawrence, actually, so a team that feels pretty comfortable playing here in Allen Fieldhouse. coming off a huge win against Texas. It'd be a great way to back up that victory at another conference win. And it certainly looks like it's going to go that way, as were the team that just made the bigger plays in that fourth quarter.
The whistle, we're going to have a foul or will be a foul. So Franklin with the foul send Vivian Gray to the free throw line with 21.2, so fouled on the inbound. Jayhawks back in action on the women's side coming up on Saturday as the Sunflower Showdown matchup with Kansas State. Jill and I will be back here at 4 on Saturday for that matchup, Kansas and Kansas State. Men in action. They'll take on Oklahoma. 11 o'clock on ESPN. Pre and post game coverage right here on Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus. So at the free throw line, Vivian Gray missed the first, made the second. Kansas calls timeout. We'll advance it with still 21.2 to go, but the margin 8. So each team using those timeouts, moving the ball to midcourt, shrinking down those possessions, and Kansas will try to find some magic here in the final 30 seconds. Jayhawks have had 4 postponements in Big 12 play and haven't found a lot of practice time either. Number of players in the COVID protocol for a spell. They had 3 in-season opt-outs as well, which has kind of depleted, especially the front line for Kansas. Good news for them tonight, they did have 10 players active and a few coming back from a couple of games missed, so a little closer to full strength tonight, but they've been battling the conditioning a little bit as well.
Yeah, I think some of the fresh legs, as you look at a player like 𝗀𝗄𝗃𝗍𝒄 took 9 threes, did not make one of those, and 0 for 9 on the night, and so a little uncharacteristic shooting night for 𝗀𝗄𝗃𝗍𝒄, held to just 10 points, the leading scorer for the Jayhawks at 17, just with 10 tonight. So give credit to Texas Tech on the defense they played on her.
And I looked a little tired late. We see her sitting on the bench here, even in the final stages of this one. So maybe her legs were a little bit depleted, and Kansas will inbound now. 21.2 seconds to go, trailing by 8. Inbound quickly, 𝗀𝗄𝗃𝗍𝒄. The catch inside, but then lost the handle, stepped out of bounds. Texas Tech will have it. 18.3 to go. Mitchell in. As they'll go all small lineup here defensively. Well, Kansas, and a quick foul from 𝗀𝗄𝗍, and we'll walk to the other end. Lexi Gordon will be at the free throw line for a pair. 𝗀𝗍 picks up her third. We head to the other end as Texas Tech trying to finish this one off at the free throw line. Gordon hits the first. Gordon also kind of held pretty much in check tonight, although still in double figures with 12, but averaging almost 18 a game, 11 of 13 games, double figures.
And they got their
20
shots.
Point games. I mean, they did a decent job, did Kansas tonight. Really solid job on Gray and Gordon. It was the others that really chipped in tonight for Texas Tech. Kansas still on the bonus, so foul on Jackson, and Kansas will inbound. 13.8 to go. Margin back out to 10. Kansas still fighting, but.
And I go back to, Alexis Tucker and her play. I mean, 17 points was, really key, along with Murray with 11 and Jackson with 9. So it's the dynamic duo of Gray and Gordon. But when they were having maybe a little bit of an off night, right, scoring, those other players certainly picked them up.
Franklin was fouled going to the basket. Will draw 2 free throws. Texas Tech had some fouls to give, so they were fouling to kind of milk down the clock, but now Kansas in the bonus after that foul, and Franklin a 2-shot foul driving to the hole. And Jackson, who just fouled, committed her 5th, so she'll check out. Gsich back in for the final 8.5 seconds here. Franklin with the made free throw. 4 in double figures for Texas Tech, again led by Alexis Tucker tonight with 17, 13 for Gordon, 14 for Gray to go along 9 rebounds. And Murray with 11. Jayhawks with 3 in double figures. Brousseau with 14, Thomas and Kerskeeter each with 10. So the free throw made. Texas Tech, we're gonna use all the timeouts before we're out tonight. Texas Tech calls timeout to advance the ball to midcourt against the Kansas, what was to be full court press. So even with 8.5 seconds to go, both teams still coaching, both teams still playing. And Krista Gsich gets an opportunity for her team to work on some late game scenarios as well. Up 8 with 8.5 to go. Trying to finish off this one here tonight on the road. For Texas Tech, and they played a lot more conference games than have the Jayhawks. This is their 8th to Kansas's 4th. They'll be at TCU this weekend. And then a home matchup with West Virginia, and then back for the rematch game at Texas. Again, beat Texas for the first time since 2013 in their most recent game, ending a 14-game skid against the Longhorns. That rematch game coming up shortly on the turnaround back at Texas on January 30th.
I think you have a team that's playing with great confidence too, and what a quick job that Coach Gsich has done there in Lubbock, Texas. I mean, a team that you look at that loss at West Virginia narrowly, I mean, by narrow margins, just losing by 5 and then responding to beat Texas, and now on the road here in Lawrence, Kansas, on the heels of yet another conference victory, their 3rd of the season so far.
Brousseau with a foul in the inbound. I don't think she meant to. She kind of got that look like, did I really just do that? Lexi Gordon will be at the free throw line for 2.
Well, at the end of the day, you thought it looked like Gordon and Gray were kind of in check, but now late free throws is certainly tacking on some points for the dynamic duo that has been leading them in scoring.
Rattles home the 2nd, so 2 made free throws, and then a late Gordon steal will seal it. And Texas Tech's going to win on the road. Back-to-back victories for the Lady Raiders as they come into Allen Fieldhouse tonight and beat Kansas by 10. Tie game after 3, but Texas Tech able, on the back of a 10-0 spurt in the 4th quarter, ends up winning by 10. Texas Tech improving to 3-5 in league play. Kansas dropping to 1-3. We'll be back with you on Saturday for Kansas and